So welcome to the end of Season 3 on Football Manager. It did turn out to be a win-lose season, and the second half of the season was petering out to a dead rubber. We were comfortably safe, but we weren't looking like we were going to push into European spots. So in today's video we will recap the season and look back and look ahead as we look to continue to develop the team and push on towards building the nation of Norway. Now after the last episode, the biggest thing to happen before the end of the window was that Knapskog has been sold to Sassuolo in Italy. Very upsetting, very disappointing that our academy player, aged only 18 still, has left us. But we did get him back on loan for the remainder of this season. But at the minute, it is looking like we won't have him back next year due to what they want loan-wise. They want us to pay all of his wages, and we just can't afford it. It's like $8,000 a week. But we did sell him for $900,000, and when we have a club who really is struggling financially to break even each year, $900,000 is a lot of money, and we just had to take that deal, unfortunately. I will point out that it's probably not the last deal we're going to take, because O'Preyer has decided that he wants to leave as well. He wants to go on to bigger and better things, because us taking him from the depths of Norwegian football up to the top clearly isn't enough. We have agreed that if a deal of 1.8 million comes in, we would sell him. But due to our financial situation, if I could sell him for enough that would cover our wages for half a year, I'd let him go, to be honest with you. I would let him go. I mean, we don't have another left back, but we'll fix that if we have to. So since you guys were last with us, we got 1-1 draw against Rosenborg. We then beat Kongsvinger and Berder Glimt. The Berder Glimt victory was insane. We will look at our tactics in a bit. We then went on to lose to Molde before a draw to Lillestrøm. We beat Odd 2-1. We then beat Arendal 1-0. And at that point, that's when I knew we were well clear, but we weren't chasing down the teams above. We lost to Start 2-0 before draw against HamKam. Losing to Stabæk and Brand before the victory against Viking just secured the safety. Defeat to Sarpsborg before a draw to Vålerenga. A 6-2 demolition of Tromsø. I don't know what happened there, what was in the water, but we really stepped up. And we just drew on the final day 1-1 against Rosenborg. So in terms of how the season ended, we finished in 11th. But as you can see, we were 19 points clear of 14th place Kongsvinger. And we were 10 points behind 4th place Rosenborg. So as you can see, we weren't at any point in danger of going down, and we weren't at any point really knocking on the door of European football. One thing to point off, Kristoffersen is top goal scorer, aged only 16 for Kongsvinger. We had to mention that. It's a bit of an impressive thing to mention. And before I forget, Valon Berisha has broke his leg. He is out for another 5 to 7 months. He broke his leg against Tromsø. Very, very disappointing. That leg break was heartbreaking, to be honest with you, in terms of us seeing him develop. And Berisha, injury history. Let's have a look at this, shall we? We're in 2025. So since last year, he's had a moderate groin strain, then 2 slight injuries, then pulled knee ligaments, moderate, neck strain, moderate. But then this season, he broke his leg in April, okay, out for 5 months. Then he came back, played 2 games, and got shin splints, and he's out for 3 months he was out for. Like, what is going on? He's pretty much missed the whole season. Our first season in the top flight, and our first choice striker has missed the whole season with injuries. Now, due to the sale of Knapskog, we do have 193k in the bank going into the end of this season, so that's a positive. It is nice to see that we actually made a bit of money. We've made 570k this season, 376 last year. So we are making money, but the problem is we ship most of it out again. So it's just been step-by-step gradual profit. So I do hope at the end of next season we still are in the black. But it would be nice if we weren't shipping so much money each month out. So in terms of how the players have done for me this season then, top goal scorer was Orna with 10 goals in 28 starts. Nazir was our second top goal scorer with 6 in 13 starts. Knapskog picked up 5 in 11. That was after he came back. He actually got more. Can we see how many he got in total? Yeah, 8 in total. So he technically was our second top goal scorer. But for some reason, when he came back, it reset all of his stats for the season. Orflot ended up picking up 4. Volas with 4. Larsson with 3. Jurgensen with 2. Opreya and Krog with 2 as well. In terms of top assists, it was Larsson with 7. Orna with 6, Opreya, Knapskog and Volas with 4s apiece. So in terms of our tactical setup, we ended up going with our defensive tactic for most of the second half of the season, because I found on the counter we looked very, very good. Now, one of the alterations was Slaveland dropping into defensive mid and playing as deep line playmaker, kind of like he has in real life this season. He's been playing that deep line playmaker role, just picking off the defence and spreading the play. He's been doing it this year. We've looked good. I think one of the key things to point out is Nazir, who he's just been really, really good. He's one of them players who, attribute-wise, you don't look at him and think, wow, but his performance-wise has just been superb. For his first season in the first team, it's been superb. In terms of our squad planner for next season, then, we still going to have 3 goalkeepers at the club. We have Sherstein as number 1. We have Erdal and Christopherson. Weirdly, why haven't you got my actual other goalkeeper, Lunin? Why is he not in there? His contract is till next year. This squad plan is so broken. In terms of right backs, then, I'm not going to use this screen anymore. We're going to go on squad depth, because Fanny is our first choice right back, yet he doesn't come on that list. It should be everybody, and then you can alter how you wish. So at the minute then, our squad depth, we have good goalkeepers. Both of them are with us next year. Left back is an issue, especially if Opreya is going to be leaving us as well. Central defence, I would like to add 1 or 2 central defenders. Right back, we have Fanny as our first choice right back. Nobody else after that really, so maybe some depth of right back. In defensive midfield, we have Matterson, we have Slaveland, we have Nazir. Maybe one more I would like to bring in. Left wing, we have Larsson, Berisha, Krog. Probably Krog as one of our first choices there going in next season. Larsson, Mateus, Nazir and Bjerlo. Knapskog obviously won't be here next season. Same again in the other centre mid. And on the right wing, we have Volas, who has just been insanely good. Larsson, Berisha can play there as well. Krog, and then we also have Sorter. And then up top, Berisha, Orna is our 2 strikers next season. Again, hopefully Berisha keeps fit, because I don't want to not use him. He was so good for us the last 2 seasons since he came in, and he's just been injured all this season. A couple of people to mention then is the likes of Bjornas, who we signed. I am retraining him as a right back, so maybe he can be the option next season as a backup to Fanny. He's decent. He can definitely do a good enough job for us. Matterson, I'm renewing his contract. It has already ticked over, so he is going to be sticking around. Sether wants to go out on loan, but to be honest with you, I think he might start getting a bit more football. He's looked okay in games. 88% pass completion does show that. He's been very solid for us. But in terms of being solid for us, I think it's important to see how we've stacked up against other teams in the league. So in terms of average possession, we actually 6th with 52%. And that's really pleasing to see that we are actually holding our own against them. In terms of yellow cards, we've topped that with 51. We're quite good at doing that. And red cards with 3. We're fairly good there as well, I think. We're quite good at fouling people. Goals-wise, we were one of the worst with only 35 goals in 30 games. So that is something I would like to see us improve on. Probably helpful if we have a striker who stays fit. In terms of cross completed, the percentage is always low, but at 16%, I'm happy. We're second best at crosses, which means we're not just wasting it, we're not just giving the balls away. In terms of goals from corners, we only picked up 4. From direct free kicks, we didn't get 1. And indirect free kicks, we didn't get 1 as well. So maybe we do need to work on them in pre-season. And in terms of pass completion rate, we were the 4th best at 88%. Which again, really, really pleased that we're not just wasting the ball. Really pleased that we are retaining possession when we do have it. You know that famous saying, you can't concede a goal if you have the ball. if they don't have the ball, they can't score a goal. Maybe that's what the saying actually is. You know what I mean. In terms of conceded, we conceded 42. But we had a couple of really bad games, so I honestly think that will come down next season. In terms of conceded from corners, we conceded 6. We conceded no direct free kicks, and we conceded 4 indirect free kicks. In terms of clean sheets, we had 6 clean sheets, which isn't too bad. And in terms of fouls made, we made quite a few, 566. It's not the best. Tackles won ratio at 77% isn't too bad. Again, mid-table for tackles won. We're still not intercepting, only 499, the worst in the league. It's a worry. It is a worry that we seem to be doing that. Now the positive, in terms of headers lost, we only lost an average of 21.1 headers a game, which is the second best in the league. So, got to be happy with that. In terms of transfer spend, we made 900k. Rosenborg made nearly 5 million. That would be nice if we could do. In terms of salary then per annum, we ended the season with a salary per annum of 1.29, with Mulder being the highest at 11.2. I mean, that's just mad. It's just mad that we almost half of what Kongsvinger are, the second lowest. It's just crazy. But look at Valerenga, 2.25, and they finished second. So fair play to them as well. But it's been a steady season. To come mid-table, to win back-to-back promotions, and then finish smack bang in the middle of the league, I'm happy. To finish 19 points clear of the drop, I'm happy. To win 11 of our 30 games, I'm happy. We've got to take the positives from it. We've got to keep pushing on. We've got to see how we can now develop the team. Coming up in our division at the minute next season is Strømsgodset and Sogndal. And Kristiansand play Kongsvinger to see who's going to come up after that. But yeah, we're going to push on. I'm going to play pre-season, and I think we need to add a few players. But at the same time, I think we've got some talent who are just getting that little bit older.